Are you currently in the process of looking for your dream home on Vancouver Island, but you haven't sold your current home yet? Or maybe it's not even listed, and let alone sold. Well, that's why we make this video. This is the #1 dilemma that our clients bring to us. 92% of the buyers on Vancouver Island are not from Vancouver Island. They're from Vancouver, the Lower Mainland. They're from Whistler. They're from Calgary. They're from Toronto. They're from all over across Canada, and they haven't sold their current home. They're worried that if they sell and don't find the perfect home, that their family would be homeless. Or if they get an accepted offer on their new home, what if their current home doesn't sell? Well, we're gonna answer all of those questions and more on today's video. And if you stick around to the end, we're gonna give you a secret realtor strategy and tip on how you'll be able to sell your home no matter where it is in Canada for the highest amount of dollars with the least amount of pressure and stress. So let's jump into it and go after it right now. If you're new to the channel, you'll want to click on that subscribe button and tap the bell so you'll be the first to get real estate information about North Vancouver Island and the Comox Valley. My name is Justin White from the High Tide Real Estate team. My team and I, we get phone calls, emails, and texts from people like you, and you looking to make Vancouver Island their new home. So no matter if you're 9 weeks or 9 months away from making the move, all of our contact details are down below. Set up a Zoom call with myself or one of my licensed agents. Let's get those questions answered now so we can make the move smooth, easy, and effortless for you and your family. Well, today we are talking about the chicken and the egg. What comes first? Do you sell your house? Do you buy your new home? Do you start looking? Do you wait to list? There's so many questions and so many options. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Here at the High Tide Real Estate Group, we have not contributed one person or one family to the homeless population, nor are we gonna start with. That's why we're making this video today. We wanna give you options. We wanna educate you. And what we find is that when our clients are more educated, they can make a better decision financially for them and their family. The #1 thing that stops people from making a decision, one word, fear. And I have an acronym for fear. It's false evidence appearing real. The reason that people don't make a decision is because they don't have enough choices. And when we don't have enough choices, we go into fear and we end up being stuck and we stay where we're at. So the option is not to have one choice, not to have two choices, but to have multiple choices. See, this is the #1 challenge that our clients come to us with. Well, Justin, what if we sell and we don't find the home that we're looking for and we're homeless? Well, today we're gonna give you a proven system where you and your family will never go homeless. So we're gonna start with option #1, which is a longer closing date. So when you list your home and you actually have the options of setting what is that closing date. It could be 30 days, it could be 60 days, it could be 6 months, it could be 12 months. Now in reality, people usually don't go for a year-long closing date. Typically here in the Comox Valley, a closing date is 90 days to 121 days. Of course, this depends if it is an owner-occupied property or a rental property. At the time of shooting this video in 2025, the BC Tenancy Acts give the renter a 3-month time notice so that once an offer is accepted on a rental property, they would get till the end of the month, and then the seller would give them a written 3 months notice. And one of those months is actually going to be a free amount of rent that the seller would then pay for them. So looking at that scenario, you could easily have anywhere from a 90-day to a 120-day closing date. It's good for you to know as a buyer coming from the outside area. Now, if you are in the outside area and you're looking to sell your home, you have 100% control of the closing day. So why would you want to box yourself in? Even if it's a great offer, if somebody wants to buy your home, they will be willing to wait for it. So you want to let your realtor know upfront, no matter where you live in Canada, that you need an extra long closing date. Now, when does this come into effect? Once you get an offer on your home. So with having a longer closing date, that really relieves the pressure for you now to start looking on Vancouver Island, Comox Valley, Campbell River, Union Bay, any of these areas, and taking your time without having that pressure of having to sell your home right away. Meanwhile, it puts your current home on the market so that you can start to see what is the value of it, what is the demand onto it, and then you can adjust your price accordingly. So the number one way is, the easiest way is to have a longer closing date to buy you that time to really shop out and see what's out there, because you do not want to rush on a house purchase. You want to take your time, find a qualified agent like myself that is living in the actual area that you want to purchase in, so that you can do video tours. You can go and fly out and do it in person. Many of our clients have bought homes simply by doing video tours. We actually set up what's called an exploratory tour. You never want to look at just one or two homes. It's best to look at 4 or 5 right in the same day to maximize your time so that you can compare properties and find the one that best suits what you need and what you want. So number one way, have a longer closing date. It's going to look a lot better to have your home on the market if you're trying to put an offer in on a new home. Now that leads us into subject to sale. And you'll want to check your different real estate boards, but here on Vancouver Island North, we are governed by the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board. And what they have in place for subject to sale is called a Form 1 time clause. Now, in the old days of doing real estate, you could put an offer in on your new home and say, subject to my home selling. But when will it sell? Now, this ties up the home for the seller. Could it be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months? Who knows? So what's happened is the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board has created a fundamental way so that way all offers that are subject to sale have a 30-day time. Meaning that if you get an accepted offer on the home that you're looking to purchase on the island, you have a 30-day time in order to sell your home. Now, will it sell or will it not sell? 30 days is pretty tight. I tell you, it'll be a lot better if you have your home currently listed. Now, this time clause gives you 30 days to sell your home, but what if it doesn't sell in 30 days? Well, then both the seller and the buyer can agree to extend it for another 30-day time frame. Now, there's a caveat to this. What if somebody else comes while you have an accepted offer on your home and you're looking to sell your current home and they give a better offer? Yes, either better dates or more money. Well, they can actually give written notice to you, the buyer, that you will have either a 24, 48-hour, or 72-hour time clause to remove your subject to sale, which can put you in a very tight predicament. So we highly recommend that you get your home listed first and then start the process of looking for a home. Now, the second way that you can do this is I want to create a way that you avoid moving multiple times, because this is one of the fears that our clients have. It's one of their top fears of, well, what if I sell there now and now I got to move all my belongings to Vancouver Island, then I have to rent, move into there, then I'm going to have to give notice, then I'm going to have to buy the home that I'm looking for and then move again. Well, the best way to do that to avoid multiple moving situations is our second option, which is bridge financing. Now, if you're looking for a qualified mortgage broker in our area, feel free to reach out. We have someone that we know, like, and trust that I actually use myself in all of my finances and in all of my mortgages, who'd be happy to help you out in this situation. What is the difference between bridge financing and a mortgage? Now, a mortgage in Canada is locked in for a 5-year term typically, but a lot of the mortgage companies are now doing 3-year terms. That means that you're locked in. So if you go and get a new mortgage on your new home, you have 3 to 5 years that you're locked in with that mortgage company. Obviously, the banks want to make money, so they're not going to be giving it out and just going, great, you can pay us back when you sell your home next month. They want to be the winners of this game and they want to make the most amount of profit. So they want to lock you in for a 3 or a 5 year mortgage. So what are your options? So the next option that you have is a line of credit. Very simply, very much if you were to buy a car, if you're paying off a credit card, a line of credit is a temporary amount of money that's loaned to you that you can pay off at any time.
So what will happen is it will have a slightly higher rate,
but now you get a line of credit that will be able to purchase that home of your dreams that you're looking for, and then that takes the pressure off of you selling your new home. This is exactly what we used to purchase our new home last year.
So it gave us the ability to save money up front because when we're going in to write an offer, we won't have a subject to sale.
But because that line of credit is already set up, we can go in a little more aggressive, saving money on the purchase side, and again, relieving the pressure of having to sell our home in a 30-day time. So what this is called bridge financing. Now, if you're looking to get advice on bridge financing, or if you're looking to start your home search in the Comox Valley, Nanaimo, Campbell River, all of our contact details are down below. Go on the QR code, set up a Zoom call with myself, Justin White. We'll meet in live in person, or one of my licensed agents on our team. Let's get those questions answered. Let's look at all of your options. As I mentioned, when you have more options, you can make a better decision of what's right for you and your family. Now, we have a third option when we're talking about purchasing a new home and you haven't sold your current home. This is one of my clients' favorite options. I'll tell you about a story. Her name is Amy, and Amy had a property in Courtenay that she just had outgrown. It was time for her to move, and yet we'd had it on the market for multiple months and she didn't have a buy on it yet. She didn't have a buyer client. Well, we started looking at new homes, going out and doing exploratory tours, and we stumbled on the home that ticked all of her boxes. It was perfect for a fit for her and her dog, but yet she hadn't sold her old property yet. And we advertised it out. We finally found a buyer for it. Now, when the buyer came in to purchase it, the home that she wanted to buy, that person needed a 6-month closing date. Now, what are we gonna do between the time it's going to sell and the purchase 6 months later of her own? Again, we're not gonna contribute to the homeless population. So what we did is we actually negotiated what's called a rent back situation. What a rent back situation is your home that you're currently in is getting listed, it gets an accepted offer and it goes unconditional, but you still haven't found the home you want to move into. You can write into the contract that you will sell the home, you get all of the assets and the proceeds from the sale, and you continue to live there so that you don't have to move again. What this does, number one, it puts all of the money into your pockets from the sale of the home so that now you can go out and negotiate on the buy side, saving you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. The other thing it does, it avoids you having to move again. And the rent back situation is where the seller and the buyer negotiate on a rental amount for a specific amount of time. In the situation with Amy, she was able to sell her house, get the money into her bank account, then she did a 6-month rental term with the new buyer, and she paid a fair market value rent back to that buyer every month, and she didn't have to move. This gave us time to close the deal on her new home, and also she booked in an extra month so that way she didn't have to move on the closing day and then on her new property. So it eased over the time for where she had to move all of her personal possessions into her new place and get the place she was moving out all clean and ready. There's so many advantages to a rent back situation. Now, also we want to mention that at High Tide Real Estate Group, we have a signature buyer's process. This is a 3-step process that no other agents use, and it saved our clients last year up to $10,000 off of the purchase of their new home. If you're curious on knowing what that three-step process is, again, all of our contact information is down below. Set up a Zoom call with myself and my team members. We'll walk you through that simple three-step process that can save you up to $110,000 off your purchase on your new home on Vancouver Island. So I told you at the beginning of the video, if you stuck around to the end, that you would be rewarded, that I was going to show you a secret realtor technique and tip that we use here at High Tide Real Estate to get the most amount of money for our seller clients. Let me ask you, if you were to go and buy a used car and you were to buy it either on Facebook Marketplace or at a dealership, where would you pay more? Yes, at the dealership. Why is that? Why do people go and pay more for the same vehicle that they could buy privately versus at a dealership? Because of one word, certainty. They're feeling that if they buy it at a dealership, it is a quality owned product, pre-owned purchased vehicle. You may have heard of this, is a qualified pre-owned vehicle. Because what the dealership does is it'll have a checklist and it'll check everything from the engine to the tires to the brakes to the transmission to all of the safety features on that car, and they will give you a report giving you certainty so that you really have a peace of mind, even though you're paying more, that if you have a problem, you can go back to the dealership. And also they've done their due diligence to check every corner of that vehicle. Well, why wouldn't you do the same when you're selling your home? So many of our clients don't get a pre-home inspection. And then what happens is when it comes time to the point of getting an accepted offer, and there's things like the hot water tank being 10 years old, or there's poly B plumbing, or the roof is needing to be replaced, then they're scrambling at this point of trying to negotiate a discount on the price. And in these situations, the buyer client ends up taking advantage of the seller. And you being the seller of your home, you may not even realize that your home has deficiencies. Now, by getting a pre-home inspection before you list your home, what you're going to be doing is two things. Number one, when you have that pre-home inspection, you can give it to each of your potential buyers that are coming to look at your home. Just like that car has a pre-inspection done, your home will have the same pre-inspection done. We work with qualified home inspectors, so it's actually a third party that's doing this inspection report. And if you're working with a qualified real estate agent, you'll be able to give that report to the real estate agent. And it can cost anywhere from $500 to $1,000, depending on the size of your home, being it a condo, a townhouse, or a single family dwelling. But it can save you tens of thousands of dollars by not knowing what the issues are. The second thing it creates is full transparency. If there's something that does need to get fixed, you can negotiate that in the price with a potential buyer so that it's not waiting until the final hour where they're taking advantage of you once they find it out. And a lot of buyers aren't plumbers, aren't electricians, aren't carpenters, and all of a sudden they go into, I don't know how much this is going to cost to fix, let's collapse the deal. And I've seen this too many times. So by getting that pre-home inspection, you're giving certainty to the buyers. You're also going to know if there are any issues that you can get those remedied even before you list the home. For instance, if the hot water tank is 10 years old, the average price for a hot water tank replacement is anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. Wouldn't it be better to get that done before? And now you can use it in your listing description saying brand new hot water tank installed. And then that way it gives, again, the buyer certainty that they've done their due diligence and that the home, they'll be able to move in. They're not going to have to worry about that hot water tank for many, many years to come. So pre-home inspections give certainty to the seller as well. They tend to make your home sell quicker because not many homes on the market are going to have a pre-home inspection. So it sets your home apart from a competition if they're looking at the next door neighbor home that has no inspection, where they don't know what they're going to get into once they purchase that home. Again, home inspections are going to save you money. They're going to give the buyers certainty, and they're going to make your home stand out if they're looking at other homes. Well, I hope you found lots of value in today's video. Today we talked about how to protect you and your family so that you'll always have a roof over your head. As I mentioned, I have not contributed to the homeless problem in the Comox Valley, nor am I about to. The second thing we covered today is how to avoid multiple moves. I haven't met anyone yet who loves packing up all their stuff into boxes and making the move, especially if it's over across the ocean onto Vancouver Island. So today we've given you tips and techniques of how to avoid it. The other thing we've done is we've given you the information on a pre-home listing inspection. And if you're looking for more information, please reach out. We'd be happy to introduce you to our certified home inspectors that we use and give you that referral as well. Now, don't forget to subscribe down below, and you'll want to tap that bell so you're going to get up-to-date leading information about the real estate market on Vancouver Island and in the Comox Valley. As well, you'll be the first for us to share what are the top problems, what are the top fears, and the top questions that our clients give us each and every day as we answer them in our video series. Now, if you're looking to make the move to Vancouver Island, or you're just thinking about making the move, no matter if you're 9 weeks or 9 months away, all of our contact details are down below. Set up the Zoom call with myself or one of my team members. Let's get those questions answered today so we can make the move smooth and easy for you and your family. And of course, if you're coming to Vancouver Island, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to meet you in person, or we're going to see you on the next video.